If you had issues, as I, with the ng comment, the reason for that could be, in my case, that the PowerShell script can't be executed on my system because of permissions. What you can do then is go under your file system and go under %appdata%. Here you can find the npm folder and can remove this ng PowerShell script. When you have removed it and you type ng again, you see that there's no error anymore, and I can create a new project with this. I hope I could help you with this, and the next part will be the start of the Angular 17 from scratch. Welcome to the first part of the Angular 17 Scratch application. We will create a weather app. Firstly, we have to create a new project with ng-new. We will name it weather app. We will use SCSS. If you want to follow, you can of course also choose CSS or all that you have here as option. We want no server-side rendering or static site generation. So now we will open our new project and we'll quickly test if everything runs fine. Doing this by running npm start. Now we can copy this link and open it in Chrome. And as you can see, everything works fine. And we're using Angular 17. So we will quickly look at the structure. We have at the moment like an app component HTML, CSS, and so on. Everything that comes defaultly as a template from Angular. What we firstly will do is we will install two packages. We firstly stop this by pressing Ctrl+C, and then we will execute two commands. First is mpx, or we can execute ng-add with Bootstrap to make the main layouting. Here it says, we want to add that package. Secondly, we will install the Angular material to manage our input fields and controls. We want to install this one. So here we can choose a column theming. We will go with indigo pink, but if you want a different styling of the fields, you can of course choose a different one. We want to make it globally, and it should include all animations and enable them. So hopefully everything still works, because now what has changed, we can quickly take a look. In the configuration, it has told Angular to use the animation, and it has some stylings that get loaded by Google, which means if you want to make this for like an own project, you should check for that links, because nowadays it's problematic if you like getting the data from Google because of the tracking. We have here like an main.js change, like that it, I think here, make this Bootstrap application thing, but we can quickly take a look on it. Okay, it kind of says it added like a comment. Okay, and yeah, added some styling that we can use Bootstrap and make some main stylings for our application. So we will quickly make this changes to a commit. If you not know how Git works, we will not focus on that, but yeah, we can kind of say that we want specific changes to be like part of an labeled naming. Main adjustments, main app preparation. So, okay. Next, we will create a few components to make everything fine. We will make a new view component. We're creating here a folder named views. Here we will create a new component with this and naming it main page. Ready to learn Angular 19, 20 and 21. This course covers everything new in this latest versions. From hydration, event replay, resource API, signal forms, we cover it all. You will get a complete playground app showcasing all features. Plus, we will build a weather app from scratch to implement everything hands-on. Full source code for both projects included. Check the link in the description. As I said, this extension creating then a component for us, but it's not like Angular 17 style with like a standalone true and imports, because that's the new way how components are set it up. But you can see it makes some pre-definitions. Yeah. What we now will do is creating here a new routing. For us, we will go with path empty equals the component main page component. So that's currently unknown, but we can import it now from our component. So that the routing works, we have to remove the whole code and using this HTML named router outlet. Because the app component is our main component, that's the first component that we have, and that one has to be prepared for the routing. Additionally, we will create a new folder with shared, which contains a component named main header. That will be our header. Here again, we make a standalone component and make imports as an array. So additionally, we will now add this component to app main header. We will add that to our component here. But now we have an issue because this main header is not part of the main page. What we now has to do, it already have done it automatically, but you have to import the components you want to use in that component to get it provided. So we can quickly check out how it is currently looks like, and it says main eventually it not recognized the new component. Yeah, now it works. Okay. It was like that it not recognized the new component we have created. As you can see at the moment it's not really good, but we will quickly make a few adjustments to make it look good. Okay. Let us continue with a few stylings. In the header we will make like a kind of raw at the end. We will use the Bootstrap classes like display flags and make a navigation wrapper. That should be like the main URL that we want at the top. Then we make a different div that also is display flags and has a gap of 2. Then we want to have an icon that represents our application icon. As you can see already, it not use the material icon, which means we have to import it with mat icon module. That's an import that comes from mat icon module. It's from Angular material icon. So now it should know it. We defining here the icon that we want to have. In our example, it would be sunny, snowing. All of that stuff could be, of course, made separately, and we make a span element here that should show the name of our application. In my example, I will name it weather app. And as lastly, we want to like have a small time to see in our application what time it is. In our example, I will use a template for that we can already see what happens. So we have one class or one styling that is currently not perfect, because as you can see, we have now the icon, the weather name, and we have like the string that I have defined in the template. What we now need is a small adjustment in the styling, because it should look good. Oh, it also using here, we want to use SCSS instead of CSS. Not make that much of a difference, but yeah, only that we are consistent. Now we want to give this navigation wrapper a styling. I have prepared here a small style that we can use. Okay, I think this SCSS like brought a few issues with it, because it has to be defined here and here. So now I hope that, yeah, exactly. As you can see, we have now a header that looks good, and we can go deeper into the main page. So we want to make a small background with the rest of the space. For that, we make a div element that has like a class that we defining a background color with. It will be a flex fill to like fill the background of it. It will itself be a flex that will be later a topic. We have a gap, and we want to have later the content to be centered in that container, and also align items center to have at least also like everything centered in that element. I again have a prepared background for that everything looks good. That one like defining itself as a host to be a min height of 100 view height, which helps us that the complete content get filled by these two elements. The first one is based on flex be on the first place, and then the second one will fill the remaining space. And here, with this weather card background, we will set the background to be a gradient from this pinkish to this blue. And as you can see now, the application looks good, and we can then continue in the next step with like adding some components to make a lot more of it.